Hello my friends, Asoka the Geek here. And for this review, we're going to do a little something different. Yesterday I did post my advanced look at the McFarlane Toys Batman v Superman Batman. And after I posted that review, I got a lot of comments about the figure and a lot of questions. So I thought, hey, instead of just creating multiple YouTube shorts or trying to respond to all the questions in the comments, I would just take this video and try to address all of the common questions and comments I have been seeing in the comment section. So we're just gonna go through this figure again, address some things, do a few more comparisons, and yeah, that's the video. So to start off with, here's a comparison of the new BVS Batman with Zack Snyder's Justice League Batman and the Flash Batman all the way, here's my other hand here, to the right. So I just wanted to kind of do a comparison, showing you how he fits in with these other figures. I think height-wise, scale-wise, he looks good. It looks, you know, like a nice progression there of suits. You know, I actually have this backwards. He should be first, but you know what I mean. It's just kind of cool to see all of Ben's different suits in plastic. Of course, we still do need the Nightmare suit. We also need his armored suit from BVS, so definitely don't have all of the Ben Affleck suits. But I'm excited to hopefully get those eventually. So start off with, here's just a comparison of, you know, the new BVS Batman alongside Justice League and the Flash Batmans. Honestly, out of these, the new BVS is definitely my favorite so far. I love this figure. I have my issues with it, which I'll revisit later on in this video, but I still love this figure so much. So there you go. That's our first kind of, that was the first one of the, I saw that comment come up quite a bit. Hey, can you do a comparison with these guys? I'm sorry I didn't do it in my first video. I just didn't have those figures handy to begin with. So next, before I start talking about the figure more, let's show you how he looks next to Superman and Wonder Woman. All right, so here's a comparison with the BVS Batman, with the Justice League Superman, and the Shazam Wonder Woman, which is technically a modified Wonder Woman 84 figure. They just sort of shortened the legs up and changed up the head sculpt, and I think it looks great. I really like that figure. So there you go. You can see how he looks next to those. So he unfortunately doesn't scale that accurately with Superman. Maybe with Wonder Woman, but definitely not with Superman. He's definitely bigger than Henry Cavill. But that was kind of one of the cool things about BVS, was that he was just such a hulking Batman. And Henry Cavill is no slouch either, but this is almost reversed. Like, I think Batman more had this sort of stature and size to him versus Superman. So don't scale the best together. I still think they look great together, though, even though they're not scaled appropriately. But as you can see, we definitely do need an updated Superman, a proper Batman versus Superman. And we also, of course, need a proper Wonder Woman from Batman versus Superman. But as it is, this still works. I mean, they look great together. Obviously, the size isn't the best, but still, I think he looks really nice next to Superman and Wonder Woman. And it's so interesting to see the progression of head sculpts here. So this is obviously the Henry Cavill. And I think the sculpt is there, but it just needs more paint to really bring it out. But yeah, it's very plain. But then you see Wonder Woman, which came out a couple of years later. You can see the difference in the head sculpt. Maybe too much light on them right there, but you know, she's actually got some shading, some different colors to her skin tone and things like that. So it's interesting to see that progression. But there you go. There is a look at Batman next to Superman and Wonder Woman. So again, I got that question a lot in the comments. People really wanted to see, obviously, the Trinity, recreating that awesome scene where Wonder Woman makes her appearance for the first time as Wonder Woman in the DC extended universe. Rest in peace. But yeah, love that scene, love that moment, love the music that plays when she comes on. I mean, just to be a little bit more accurate, she should really be in the middle there, and then Superman to the left, and I think Batman to the right. It would have been really, well, again, I hope we get a BVS wave, but I hopefully, Okay, there she goes. Wonder Woman just fell off the stand there. Give me 1 second. Let me just pick her up here. All right, it happens, guys. It happens. So there it is. There's the scene, right? So yeah, hopefully we'll get a BVS Wonder Woman with her shield and sword. Hopefully we'll get a Batman with his little kryptonite gun that he was rocking in this scene, and of course an appropriate Henry Cavill Superman. But I still think they look great together. You know, like, they look nice. All right, so those were the two comparisons that I got the most requests for in the comments. Another question that came up in the comments was, hey, you didn't talk about the head sculpt at all. And you're right, I didn't. And for the life of me, I was thinking about, why did I not talk about the head sculpt? I was very focused on the neck area, talking about how I think the neck is too long. And after talking to some friends like Brad the DC Universe Geek, obviously, and Rob D Toys, it's really not that the neck is too long. It's more likely that the peg they're using inside of the neck is too long. So I'm sure there's already going to be people modifying it with a different peg inside to lower the neck, the head a little bit. So I think that's more of the issue. But and you know, the more time I spend with the figure, the less it bothers me. I really love this figure. It's really growing on me. Again, still have my complaints about it not being as beefy as I would like and whatnot. But when I look at this is, you know, the BVS Batman. And brings me back to the thing I was supposed to be talking about, the head sculpt. Why didn't I not mention it yesterday in the review? Honestly, I think because when I look at this, it looks like Ben to me. It looks like the BVS Batman. I know it's not a perfect head sculpt. I know it's not, you know, a one-to-one representation of him. You know, I'm sure a lot of you will say that doesn't look like Ben at all or whatnot. But to me, it has the spirit of the suit, if you know what I mean. Like, I look at this suit, I look at this figure, and it makes me think of Ben Affleck as Batman. Now, to sort of counter that point, to give you another example of what I'm talking about, let me get him to stand here for a sec. All right, so when I look at this Keaton 1989 Batman, I love this figure because it's Michael Keaton as Batman. I mean, he's my favorite Batman, favorite suit. I love this figure. But honestly, when I look at this figure, the head sculpt doesn't work for me because the head is supposed to be attached to the neck. Obviously, a human head is attached to the neck. But you know what I mean? Like, there should be no mobility here. You know, this should just be one straight shot. This shouldn't be sticking out like it is here. So for me, that's a bigger problem than what's happening with Ben. Because I look at this figure and I do see the 89 Batman here. But I also feel like it's a weird modern version. It's not really a classic looking 89 Batman just because the headpiece, even though the sculpt is there in the head, I think, but what really ruins it is just the head's not attached to the neck. It's not all one piece like it should be, like in the movies. And to me, that really affects the overall look of the figure, to where when I look at this, yes, objectively, I do see an 89 Batman. It's a great looking figure, but also it is sort of a big thing that distracts from its beauty for me, is that the head is not attached to the neck. Whereas when I look at the BVS Batman, even though it does have its issues, to me this still looks like, you know, the BVS Batman. It has the spirit of the suit. To me, it looks like Ben Affleck in the suit. That's what I get from this figure. But yeah, again, with the Keaton one, look at the size difference there. If you want to talk about size, Keaton is definitely not supposed to be as tall as Ben Affleck, so he should be a little bit smaller. But again, this is hyper nitpicky stuff, guys. I love both of these figures so much. Just that we have Michael Keaton in a 7-inch scale. We have 2 versions of it, 3 counting the Flash. That is awesome. And I'm still hoping one day they do a version of this where the head and the neck cowl piece are all connected in one piece. I feel like that'd be an easy fix, and I would pick that up in a heartbeat. But anyways, rambling on here. So I hope you get my point that I'm trying to make here with this figure. Is the reason I didn't really focus on the head sculpt yesterday, because I didn't really think about it, because to me this looks like Ben Affleck as Batman. Again, I know the head sculpt isn't exactly Ben Affleck if you were to do a side-by-side comparison with a picture or whatever. But to me, I look at this and I think BVS Batman, BVS Ben Affleck. So there is my long rambling answer to why I didn't talk about the head sculpt yesterday. And also, in my review yesterday, I pointed out that there's a hole in the back of the suit. A lot of people are theorizing that this should have been for the plastic cape, that perhaps this figure should have been a part of the original 6-pack that was released, the Ultimate Movie Collection 6-pack, and that it should have had a plastic cape, and that's what that is for. Someone also asked me in the comment if perhaps the grappling gun here has a peg that lets it fit back there, and it does not. There's no peg, anything that attaches the grappling gun to this little hole back there. So I'm pretty sure that people are right, that this is probably meant to be for a plastic goods cape. Plastic goods cape isn't the right word. This is a plastic cape. And again, hopefully when we do get the BVS wave eventually, nothing confirmed, but I would love to see a plastic cape, and hopefully they'll address some of the things I mentioned. Also, people ask me about the color of the suit. It's definitely not coming through in my video, that there is a little slight bluish tint to it, or maybe that's what I'm seeing. But nevertheless, it looks great. It's not the right gray, but it's just a really nice looking gray. I just love the figure. The more I look at it, the more time I spend with the figure, I'm just really liking the figure. Someone else also mentioned that, hey, you know, the gauntlets should have some gold in them. And you're right, whoever mentioned that. Yeah, the fists, things like that, there should be some gold accents in there, which was missed. But, you know, I didn't really notice them, doesn't bother me. Of course, it would have been nice if they were there, but they're not. So what are you going to do? But there you are. And that's, I think, about it. I think those were the most, last thing, I was about to skip it again, the articulation. So people were asking me to spend more time on the articulation. I did upload a YouTube short, which I think a lot of you have watched, but if you just want to see more of this guy's awesome articulation, let's just go for it right now. He does have a great ab crunch. Look how far he can kind of bend over there. Look at the range of motion you get with this figure. It's just a really well articulated figure. I didn't notice it even yesterday when I was reviewing it, but he's got a great range of motion. You can really make some fun scenes with him. I think action figure photographers who do those beautiful story scenes and, you know, make those beautiful artistic pictures on Instagram are going to really like this guy, just because he has a great range of motion and he really moves around well, as you can see. So yeah, I think you can definitely make some, it's like he's seeing something on the ground, or you can have him go like that, you know? So you have some really great range of motion here with the articulation of this figure. Again, I posted a separate YouTube short, which I'm sure you guys might have watched, but I even go into more articulation there. But nevertheless, really good articulation with this figure. So yeah, the reaction to this figure has definitely been interesting. I think most people love it. Definitely a lot of people feel like they missed the mark. After spending another day with this figure, I love it. I think it's great. You know, I'm not going to do any modding to it just because I don't really mod my figures. I like keeping them stock. I would definitely like to have a new Superman and Wonder Woman in the scale to go with him. But yeah, I think this is such a great Ben Affleck as Batman figure. The things I love about it, I love the emblem, I love the scratches on it, I love the texture of the suit. And I gotta say, I even love the head sculpt. I think works for me. Love the cloth goods cape. And yeah, I think it just looks great. Just seeing it on video, taking pictures of it, having it displayed next to other figures, I really love it. So that's my opinion on it. Again, this is my opinion. I love the figure. I hopefully have pointed out the things that I didn't like, and all the folks in the comments have definitely pointed out things they haven't liked. But yeah, I think that covers it as far as the other questions that I had seen in the comments. Please let me know, though, if I did miss anything. More than happy to do another YouTube short or another video covering anything else you want to see. Just remember, guys, always ask kindly. I do a lot better if you ask, like, hey, Asoka, could you spend a few more minutes on articulation? Thanks. Versus, hey, you suck. You didn't even talk about articulation. One is going to get a better result than the other. I was, always raised to approach people, approach situations as kindly as possible. I think you get a better outcome in life when you, just approach everyone with kindness and ask nicely. And I think more people most people are willing to accommodate things when they are asked nicely. So yeah, please, in the comments. And again, this is speaking for a very small contingent of the commenters. I think 95% of the people who leave comments are respectful and kind, and even if they don't agree with the things I say, you know, they talk about the figure, not me personally. But just kind of keep that in mind as you leave comments. And yeah, if you don't agree with me about my opinion, again, it's subjective. These are just my opinion on an action figure. You are more than welcome to disagree. No one is wrong in their opinions. That all opinions are valid. And sorry, I got all soapboxy near the end of this part 2 review. But in the end of the day, I love this figure. I think it's great. I think if you're a fan of Batman versus Superman, I think you'll enjoy this figure. Hopefully I've given you enough information in these 2 videos to make a judgment call on whether you want to purchase it or not. As always, it's up to you. And that's about it. All right, so thanks for sticking through this rambling video as always. And again, let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. More than happy to try to answer them or do more videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.